It is match day Wednesday, and Austin FC are taking on Seattle Sounders for the fifth time in club history. The last time both teams played was back in September 2022, in which Seattle beat Austin FC in a 3-0 win. But what exactly is Seattle to Austin FC? Are they an easy opponent or big menacing threat for the Verde and Black? Currently, Seattle sits first place in the Western Conference with 7 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses, with a total of 23 points, with 19 goals scored. In the last 5 games for Seattle, it's been kind of shaky for them, which is kind of weird to understand. They have 2 wins, 1 draw, and 2 losses. The last time they got a win at home was against Minnesota United in a 2-0 score. But the strangest thing is that the biggest MLS shocking thing that ever happened was they got a loss to Sporting Kansas City in a 2-1 score not too long ago. So for Austin FC against Seattle Sounders, no matter the form they are or they're in, they're big opponent, big menacing threat for the Verde and Black. Because for Austin FC, we have 2 months without a single win, 8 games in total. Despite the promising results we have, against Portland Timbers, San Jose Earthquakes, and against, you could say, New Mexico United, it's still not enough to get a win. 2 months without a win is so sad to see, because the last time we got a win was on the road against Real Salt Lake in a 2-1 score. And another thing too about both teams is that they're in the same level of injured players. But the thing about Seattle Sounders is that despite their 4 of their starters are injured, they find the perfect replacement, perfect player in that certain spot for their injured players. So let's say a right winger, we have the perfect right winger, he's right there, you're good for the meantime until our proper starter is good until he's fully ready. But for Austin FC, the mindset is that who we're going to start, let's try our center back as a right winger. That should work. Austin FC's mindset when it comes to injured players, it's scattered. But for the mindset of injured players for Seattle Sounders, they find the right replacement and perfect player. But the record shows for both teams that Austin FC have no wins against Seattle. The record is 0 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. And this is a rare thing to do, because when it comes to the Lumen Field, Austin FC cannot score a single goal. They have allowed 3 goals when they go to Lumen Field, because the 3 goals came from the 3-0 loss that happened back in September. But like I said, Seattle Sounders have 4 injured players. 2 of them are their offensive players, Raul Ruidiaz and Lau Chu, a striker and a midfield player. But there are 2 players that Austin FC should focus on, mostly our defense. Jordan Morris has 8 goals and 12 goals. Like I said before, Seattle have scored 19 goals. Jordan Morris has scored half of that-ish, 8 goals of 19, so he's done a lot of work. Veteran midfield player Nicolas Lodeiro has 1 goal and 5 assists. So who is the player we have to focus on the most? I could say Jordan Morris, because despite not being good with the U.S. men's national team, he's good at club level, but he's fast as hell. So Cascante has to be ready for that fast pace, because Cascante against FC Dallas, he got exposed because how slow he is when it comes to fast players. Because our defense, what's going to be? Back 5 or back 4? I want it to be a normal back 4 like it was last season, with 2 natural center back. Let's say Cascante with Bison, because that's a normal way to do it. We don't have to do a lot of experiments against a better team than us, which is Seattle Sounders. Because another thing too, if we start a back 5, I could say sure as hell Alex String might start in a back 5 with Cascante and Bison. But if we put Nick Lima over Alex String, game is over, because Nick Lima is not a good center back player. He's always been a proper, decent right back player for us. But go back to the back 4, Gallagher on the right, Lumdekis as the left back player, and put Bison and Cascante right there in the center back duo. And this time push Alex String in the 6, and to give more creative side, Valencia and Nani Pereira in the 8. Because for Austin FC's offense, it's been really bad. Our best player is John Gallagher with 4 goals in 10 matches, with 2 games, in hand. Because another thing too to say is that Ronnie Redis is out, so who's going to support Rigoni in this game against Seattle? Because when Redis is on the field, Rigoni is more free on the left side. Ever since that game against LA Galaxy until now, Rigoni has found his perfect spot, better area, and that's the left side. He's more great with his assists, great dribbling, and he's, crossing has been better so far. As something strange for me to say that. In his partnership with, Adam Lundekits, it's sometimes working here and there. It's like getting to the point it works great. So Finley has to start in that right wing area for Ronnie Radis until his suspension is up, because we might see Radis back against Toronto FC this Saturday. But the thing is too, Fagundes is back. He didn't see any minutes. He only saw minutes on the bench on the loss against FC Dallas. So if we start Fagundes against Seattle Sounders, Fagundes on the left and probably Rigoni back on the right, because the thing too is this: Rigoni he's always confused, always lost when he's on the right side of the field as a midfield or as a winger. So just start Finley and put Rigoni back to his left side area. And who's going to be the number 9 against Seattle? It has to be Urruti. He's done more than what Zardes and Bruin has done. Well, mostly Zardes, because Bruin scored a goal against Portland Timbers. So Urruti start, and he has more chemistry with the entire Austin FC players than what Zardes has done in the last 10-11 games of the season. So Urruti comes in. I could say put Zardes in as a super substitution player, because this might be a hot take, but Zardes is much more dangerous when he's a super sub instead of a starter, because it's the same thing like Gite last season. Gite wasn't good as a starter, but when he comes in, he's a great distraction, built like brick shithouse, and a great threat for the defense of any opponent. Because for the defense of Seattle is that their record at home is 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, and that loss came to Sporting Kansas City, but they've only allowed 2 goals at Lumen Field, and it's 3 of these players are the reason why those 2 goals have allowed, and only the reason too why they're in first place. Stefan Frei has 32 saves, and he leads in the MLS with 7 clean sheets. Yamar Gomez has a clearances of 46, and his best clearances is in the air with 29 aerial wins, and 17 on the ground. And his partner in the center back duo, Jackson Rajen, who has 53 clearances with 8 tackles won, but Rajen leads the team with more clearances, which is 53. So both combined have a total of 100 clearances, at least almost 100 clearances of any sort. So for Austin FC against Seattle Sounders, it's always an entertaining match to watch, but I feel like Austin FC might come out with a narrow draw. I could say a 2-2 draw from the goals of Rigoni, and let's just say either Dani Pereira. So Austin FC comes out with a draw, back to, let's say, promising ways, and hopefully we get a win back at home against Toronto FC. But other than that, you guys, my name is Renell Mixon 17. Hope you understood this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.